It doesn't matter what clip. Every time I do a video where I'm talking about men, I say in that video every single time, if you watch the entire thing, there's a difference between Dusties and exceptional men. The only men who are triggered by anything that I say are Dusties. And it's the same thing with women. The only time women are triggered by what I say is if they dusty on us. They call me a god. They call me a god. Now, I try to be respectful of men all of the time. I try to make sure I say something, positive for the fellas all of the time, and the men in my audience know that. But if you're a Dusty who only comes viewing my channel sometimes, or when my clip that's viral shows up in your feed, knowing how social media is, knowing that the only thing that's promoted are the negative things that's being said or misconstrued, or things that you don't know the context to. If you're that type of person that you only look at that content, you're not going to be able to understand my principles or my message. You're not going to be able to get it. So Kartel Samuels is one of those people. So last year, he had some things to say about me, and he told everybody on TikTok that I was a mistress and that I had a baby by a married man. That's how it started spreading around TikTok in a completely different audience, and people was looking at it in a different context, because my own personal audience already knew my situation with me and my son's father, because I've always been so fucking vocal about it. I've always kept it a buck with everybody about my situation with me and my son's father. And even when these Dusties sit here and try to talk about my life like they stepped foot in it or something, or like they have the deets about what's happening with me, side-eye that. Like, when you hear rumors and stuff about me, always side-eye that and consider the source. Consider the source. Like, it makes no sense for a grown man, a grown man to be using his platform to always consistently be complaining about any woman. You have to be leery of shit like that, because something is wrong with them mentally. And what I notice is a lot of Dusties don't deal with their mental health first. And so with Kartel Samuels, when he decided to do this, he tried to make it seem like I was a mistress that had a side baby or whatever. And that wasn't the case. And the fact that my son's father is so much of a wimp that he won't get on social media and keep it a buck with everybody and tell everybody that wasn't who I was to him is really fucked up to me. Like, he got on social media and said so many other things to protect his own ass, but he can't even protect the mother of his child and protect his son. That says a lot about a man. So anyway, these Dusties don't talk about manly stuff. They just use their platforms to talk more just about women and their frustrations with women and, their negative experiences. But usually men who are good men, they don't have this trail or this pattern of negative relationships with women behind them. So if you are looking at an exceptional man or a decent man on social media, 9 times out of 10, he's not complaining about women. His content will be something about business or positive things to uplift people inside of a relationship, or he's talking about money or cars or whatever he enjoys to talk about. But his whole entire platform will not have anything to do with dragging women. Just remember that at the end of the day, there's a difference between exceptional men and Dusties. And I have always said that. I have always said that over and over and over again. So when you see a Dusty, you'll be able to spot them easy, because it's not like they're the most educated men in the world. A lot of times you can tell they've been incarcerated, body is covered in tattoos, or they just look a little, edgy. Those be Dusties. They don't get the kind of women that they want. And a lot of times they'll get on social media and use other women that they don't really know like that as a punching bag or a target to take out their frustrations on the women in their real life. See, this social media, and I keep trying to tell y'all, social media, the internet, the stuff that we sit here and talk about, that is not your real life. This is not real life. Okay, these are just conversations that we're having amongst each other. The internet is a place for people to socialize, to learn more, to get more information, to display their art and their content creation. That's it. It's not supposed to be a place that you take so literally or expect for people to show their real life. Now, I know a lot of y'all got used to a lot of people showing you their entire life, but that's not all content creators. For the most part, I've shared like stories with everybody, but most of my life, y'all don't know on purpose. Y'all might know some stories that I needed to teach in order to learn a lesson, and some stories that other people may have talked about that was in my real life. But most of the stories you heard about me don't come from people who were in my real life, because people in my real life, people who love me or been a part of my family, or even my exes that I had something solid with and we were like truly friends and love and shit like that, they're not going to get on the internet and talk to y'all about nothing because of the type of person I was to them inside of the relationship. Now, negative men, on the other hand, sometimes when I got in a relationship with somebody that I wasn't supposed to be with, like I was with a Dusty, he proves he's a Dusty when he gets onto social media and says something negative. And how many Dusties have I actually been with that have got on social media and said something negative about me? Not a lot. Because I don't have like this long track record of dealing with a whole bunch of motherfucking Dusties. Okay, that's just not my thing. But if you let a Dusty tell it, my favorite thing in the world is a Dusty, and all I date is Dusties, and all I talk about is Dusty. You know what I mean? So anyway, I wanted to address that for a moment. I don't have any negative feelings towards Kartel Samuels. I do not know this dude like that. I don't know what he decided to talk about this morning, but I do want to say to the men inside of my audience, thank you for telling me. Some men in my audience didn't even know that he was doing a live stream about me this morning. I just want to say thank you to the guys that did tell me. And what I would prefer y'all to do is to go into people's comment section when you do see these Dusties and they're making content about me, claiming that I'm a man basher. Show them the content that I post up where I'm supportive of men. Because the only reason why men like him continue to push this false narrative about me is because he hasn't seen the positive content that I post about men. And the reason why he hasn't seen it is because on social media specifically, the negative stuff is pushed all of the time. So if I did an entire video, right? Like, matter of fact, I'm just going to use this live stream as an example. Just the shit that I said about Dusties like 5 minutes ago. Those clips, those are the clips that's going to go viral. Those are the clips that the Dusties are going to sit here and go through. And they're going to make it seem like I'm talking about all men. They're going to cut out the part where I said there's a difference between Dusties and exceptional men. They cut that part out every single time they sit there and they discuss me. It doesn't matter what clip. Every time I do a video where I'm talking about men, I say in that video every single time, if you watch the entire thing, there's a difference between Dusties and exceptional men. The only men who are triggered by anything that I say are Dusties. And it's the same thing with women. The only time women are triggered by what I say is if they Dusty on us. So let's talk about the Dusty on us for a second. I wish Kartel Samuels the best with whatever it is that he's working on. And I hope that things get better for him. I hope that he finds another avenue to generate some income, and it has less to do with his frustrations with women and something more positive, like, I don't know, business, money, something like that. You know, I'm sure he looked like may have been incarcerated. I heard that he was incarcerated. Maybe he needs to talk more about his experience with that and how to stay out the streets or anything manly, because talking about women or constantly bringing up women all the time on your platform is not manly. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm not going to use my platform to drag him. I never talked about him before today, so I don't want to make my channel about him because it's not about him. I just wanted to address that for a second because I do appreciate that the men that are in my audience did tell me about that.